Om Sairam. Today I'm going to talk about Nanasaheb Dengale. His name was Sitaram Jairam Dengale and he was a resident of Nimgaon. It is a well-known fact that Baba rarely left Shirdi in his physical body. However, he did visit Nimgaon to the house of Nanasaheb Dengale. He visited Rahata to the house of Kushal Chand, and he went to Rui to the Hanuman temple. Other than that, he went to his devotees' houses in the form of a photograph or a bas-relief. For example, to Dabholkar's house, he went in the form of a bas-relief, or as padukas in the house of Bhaiya. Nanasaheb was a resident and a watandar of Nimgaon. Nimgaon is a village about 3 kilometers from Shirdi. Baba would go there about every fortnight. Prior to Baba's constant visits to Nimgaon, Nanasaheb came to Shirdi and he became devoted to Baba. The reason was Baba Sahib, his elder brother, was a staunch devotee of Baba, and he sent Nanasaheb to Shirdi to get blessings from Baba. He had 2 wives and he had no children. And of course, with Baba's blessing, he did have children. His grandfather was Triambak Dengale. He had an inventory of 20,000 people. He was very affluent and had vast farmlands, and he lived in a fortress. When I went to Nimgaon about 30 years ago, I was delighted to see that their home was in a fortress. It was a double-walled fortress. The first wall was made out of huge boulders and it had the wooden door. Then about 6 feet away from it was the second wall. This again was made out of huge boulders and it also had a wooden door. The family told us that when Baba first came to Nimgaon, the doors opened automatically, and thus the residents knew that a Satpurush had come to visit them. Nanasaheb was a very high official in the government service, and after Baba blessed him with a child, he was responsible in bringing numerous high officials to Shirdi. Wherever he went, he spoke about the divinity and the compassion of Baba and how, through his blessings, he was blessed with a son. The routine that Baba followed while going to Nimgaon was like this. When he went to Nimgaon, he would first go to the vihir. A vihir is a well. This vihir is a square well with steps leading down rather than a circular well. After washing his feet, he would go to the ancient Khandoba Mandir. That mandir is exactly like the temple that we have in Shirdi. The central idol is Lord Khandoba, and on either side are Banai. She was a shepherdess, and Malsa, who was the daughter of a rich businessman. After visiting the temple, he would walk to the Dengale house, and the family would welcome him. Usually, Baba sat in the courtyard, and they would do puja, archa, offer him a garland of flowers. They would offer him fruits, a coconut, and after spending about half an hour having a nice conversation with the family, Baba would return to Shirdi. Nanasaheb Dengale was one of the first devotees of Baba, and hence he was a witness to many of the miracles that happened. Nanasaheb was there when the miracle of Baba turning water into oil to light the lamps occurred in Shirdi. He had come to Shirdi that day, and Baba had gone to the grocer's to get some oil to pour in the panktis and light them for the night. However, the grocers maliciously refused to give him the oil. Then they followed Baba to see what he would do, as he had no oil to light the lamps. So he stood amongst the crowd, and the grocers laughed and scoffed at Baba, and they said, "This man must be downright mad. How does he expect the lamps to be lit by water?" Nanasaheb heard what they were saying, and he cautioned them. He told them not to sneer and scoff at a Satpurusha, because we do not know the magnificence and the power that he has. They waited and watched, and Nanasaheb too waited. What Baba did was, he poured some water in the canister and shook it vigorously. Then he consecrated it by drinking some. Then he poured fresh water in it. Then he placed the wicks in the lamps, and pouring the water instead of oil, he lit them. And they burnt the whole night through. The other Leela that Nanasaheb witnessed, Nanasaheb Dengale would come and visit Shirdi, and he would bring with him a beautiful garland made out of wild, fragrant roses, and he would offer to Baba. Then he would offer him a coconut and fruits and do puja archa and leave. Nanasaheb wanted to do ritualistic arti of Baba, so he comes and asks Baba for permission. At that time, nobody used to do arti in Shirdi, and congregational worship had not started. So Baba refused to give him permission and asked him to do puja to the pillar in the Dwarkamai. Thus, Nanasaheb was not able to perform Baba's arti. The other Leela that Nanasaheb witnessed was the way Baba slept. In those days, the Dwarkamai flooring or the tile flooring was not there. So it was a muddy area. Oftentimes it would get wet and slushy, and Baba would lie on the floor and sleep. Thus, his kafni used to be damp, and oftentimes it was smeared by the slush on which he slept. This bothered Nanasaheb a great deal, so he brought a wooden plank and gave it to Baba. He thought that Baba would place the plank on the floor and sleep upon it. However, Baba took the plank and fastened it to the rafters of the Dwarkamai like a swing. This plank was about 6 feet in length and about a foot in breadth. This he tied with the rags. The rags were so frail that they could hardly bear the weight of the plank, let alone Baba sleeping upon it. Yet, Baba did this wonderful miracle. He lit 4 lamps and put it in the 4 corners of the plank and then slept. As the crowds started increasing and gathering there to see this wonderful miracle, one day Baba got upset and broke the plank and threw it away. Once he was telling Dikshit about the greatness of the wooden plank. So Dikshit, being a kind-hearted devotee, said, "Baba, if you so love this plank, I'll get you another plank and then you can sleep comfortably on it." Baba told Dikshit, "Are Kaka, how can I sleep up there and leave Malsapati down below?" So Dikshit said, "Baba, I'll provide another plank for Malsapati." Then Baba said, "How can he sleep up there when he is a slave to sleep? Whenever I ask him to place his hand on my chest and hear the rhythm of my heartbeat as I am doing Namasmaran, and if natural sleep should overtake me, it will show as a change in the heartbeat. Yet Malsapati is not steady in his posture. His hand becomes heavy on my chest and he nods off to sleep. So, how can he who cannot sleep with his eyes open sleep upon a plank?" There are some interesting Leelas that I would like to tell about the Dengale family. Nanasaheb knew the language of the birds. Once Baba had gone to visit him and they were seated in the courtyard. There was a group of birds that were seated on the trees and they were twittering excitedly. Then Baba turned to Nanasaheb and said, "Nana, what are the birds saying?" Nana fell silent for a little while. He knew that Baba was Parabrahma. He knew the past, future, and the present of each and every devotee, let alone the twittering of birds or the chirping of lizards. He knew everything. But because Baba asked him, he waited for a little while and said, "Baba, the birds are twittering and saying that 9 people will die in Shirdi." Immediately, Baba got up and left his home. He hurriedly came to Shirdi and went to the Dwarkamai. Then he sent a messenger to fetch Baguji Shinde. Baguji came immediately to the Dwarkamai and Baba said to him, "Baguji, I want you to go to the Shani Mandir." There, at the Shani Mandir, all the devotees had gathered together and they were preparing a huge handi of prasad. He asked Baguji to go and throw the prasad on the floor. Baguji did what Baba asked him to do. Hurriedly he went there and threw the prasad on the floor and came running back to the Dwarkamai and hid behind Baba. As was expected, all the villagers came to the Dwarkamai and told Baba about the sacrilegious act that Baguji had just performed. They told him how he had thrown the prasad on the floor and desecrated it. Calmly, Baba said to them, "Now go and see what is in the prasad." They ran there and they moved the ladle around, and to their astonishment, they found a dead serpent. Immediately, they came back to the Dwarkamai and fell at Baba's feet and thanked him for saving the entire village from death and calamity. The next Leela is about Baba's compassion. Baba was kind and compassionate not only to Dengale but to the people that worked for him. One of his workers, called Bapu Mali, tended to his fields. One day, they were cutting the grass and there were about 20 villagers that were working for him. One of the ladies had a small little baby of about 2 months old. She took the baby and laid it in the shade of a tamarind tree that was growing close by. Then she went into the fields and started working. Suddenly there was a passing storm and all the workers rushed for shelter. The lady totally forgot that she had laid her little baby under the tree. The downpour of the rain was in torrents, and about half an hour later, the rain stopped. At that time, the lady realized that she had placed her 2-month baby under the tree. Screaming and crying, calling out Baba's name, she ran towards the tree. And what did she see? She saw Baba standing there with the little baby held in his arms. When she got there, she had to jump over puddles of water as the rain was in torrents. But when she looked up at Baba, she found that Baba was absolutely dry and the little baby in his arms was dry too. Immediately she prostrated at Baba's feet and thanked him for saving her little baby. Baba, of course, was very angry with her and said, "What a sort of a mother are you? You run for shelter and you leave your baby unattended under the tree?" With the downpour of rain that was so bad that the baby would have drowned in it. But I have to think of my devotees and all the people that are in his care. So, thus Baba saved the people who worked for Dengale and also the little baby. And lastly, I shall narrate the Leela which shows what a large and a kind-hearted person Nanasaheb was. There was a person called Marthand. He was a tailor and a resident of Shirdi. Once he got sick. He had no kith and kin to look after him. So he went and lay on the path that Baba would take going to Lendibag. When Baba came in procession on his way to Lendibag, he found Marthand there and he inquired about it. Marthand told him about his illness and he sought refuge at Baba's feet. Baba reassured him and told him not to worry and to go to Nimgaon and that Nanasaheb would look after him. somehow he managed to go to Nimgaon. And at that opportune moment, Nanasaheb came out of his house and welcomed him with open arms. He told him that Baba had given him a dream and informed him that he would come to their home. Then he and his family looked after him and he became totally okay. As soon as he recovered, he came to Baba and told him of how he was treated so well at Nanasaheb's home. And he remained eternally grateful to Nanasaheb. This also strengthened his faith in Baba. And this is an apt example of one of the promises that Baba gave us in the 11 promises. Sharan maja ala ani vaya gela, dakwa aisa koni. The meaning of this is, anybody who sought refuge at my feet would not be abandoned and would not lay by the wayside. With this, I conclude the Leelas for Nanasaheb Dengale. Nanasaheb passed away after living a very fruitful life. His descendants still live in that very same home. They are courteous to the visitors that go to their home and they show them around. Also, they have now made a Sai Baba temple in the premises of their home, and devotees can go and do puja there, or sit and do Nam Jap, or even read a chapter or two from the Sai Satcharita. This is a must-see place as it is the history of Baba, and it is the duty of every devotee to keep Baba's history alive. With this, I conclude the story of the life of this wonderful devotee, Nanasaheb Dengale. Om Sai Ram.